Hello, my name is Grace. I'm 27 years old, and this is the first edition of my new video blog about training for a half marathon. I ran a half marathon back in 2005 for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society with Team in Training. I did the Virginia Beach half marathon, the Rock and Roll half marathon, and it was a great experience, especially working with Team in Training. They're really a great group of people if you're looking to train for your first half marathon. But this time around I decided to go it on my own. I'm in a different city, I don't quite know when all their schedules are, and plus I travel for work every week, which is what presents an interesting challenge of training for a half marathon, which is why I decided it was time to video blog. Part of my problem is I lack the motivation from within to actually train. I say that I'm training for a half marathon, it's coming up, it's less than 4 months away, which is plenty of time to train, and I think about that and then I don't go out and run. So I should be running, 2 to 3 times a week during the week, and then also a long run on the weekend, and just finding the motivation to do that. So far this week I ran on the treadmill. I ran 4 miles on Tuesday. Today is Thursday, and that's all I've done so far. So I'm slacking quite a bit. I need to get back on the wagon already. And so this is why I'm calling on the web community to help give me some motivation. Part of the reason why I want to do this is because it's been 5 years, like I might have said before, since I've done my last half marathon. And in those past 5 years, I've changed jobs, I've gained 30 pounds, and I'm just really out of shape, and I just really need to get back into shape and feeling as good as I did back when I ran that first half marathon. It is always good, it's one accomplishment I have checked off my list that a lot of people who are in much better shape than I am never have. But still, I'd like to get back into half marathon. The last time I did a half marathon, like I said, I was with the Team in Training group training for the half marathon. They had a set schedule of when we needed to be out there running and all that stuff, and I tried to follow it as well as I could. Then I got a really, really bad sunburn and kind of went lax on my training for almost a month. So by the time the half marathon came around, the longest run I'd really ever done was about 7 miles. And so to go from 7 miles to 13.1 miles was quite a big jump. I made it the first 8 miles of the Virginia Beach course, and then it was the uphill portion, and I told myself I was just gonna, walk the uphill portion and then I'd begin running again. My fitness just wasn't there. I never really resumed the running, so I finished the half marathon in 3 hours, 1 minute, 48 seconds, which isn't bad, but I know I could do a lot better if I stay consistent with my training. I've never been a fast person. I mean, even when I am my fastest, it's about a 10-minute mile, and that's definitely not a half marathon pace for me. I'm more about an 11.5 to 12-minute mile at a sustained rate. So if I can finish it, in 2.5 hours, that would be excellent. I'm not going to finish it any faster than that, nor do I really want to. I've signed myself up for 2 half marathons. I signed myself up for one coming up in December, and then another one coming up in January. So I have 2 right after each other. Getting some pressure from some people I know running one in February. I think what I want to do though is if I can actually do these, that I want to probably start trying to do that. There's some clubs where if you run, usually it's full marathons, they try to run a full marathon in all 50 states. There are quite a few states I've never been to, so that would be an exciting thing to run a half marathon in every single state. It all starts with, one foot in front of the other though, and that's what I need to do. As I mentioned before, I travel. That is a very important thing. It is very difficult to have consistent equipment or consistent trails or anything like that when I'm somewhere different every week. My schedule is different every week. So it's very, very easy to make excuses as to why I'm not training. So I need to remember, I need to stop making excuses. Nobody's going to run except for me. Nobody's going to, actually complete it except for me. So I need to find the motivation from somewhere, either from you all out on the internet or from myself or wherever, to actually consistently make the effort to train. The first half marathon I have signed up for, it does have a very generous time limit. It has an 8-hour time limit because it's on the same course as the full marathon, and the full marathon is just a second go around of the half marathon course. So an 8-hour time limit is extremely generous. I know I can finish a half marathon even walking at a snail's pace at that rate. The second one I've signed up for does have a 3-hour time limit, or 3.5 hour time limit. So that one I can do it if I can do it as well as I did my very first half marathon. If I don't train though, 3.5 hours, you can't walk it in 3.5 hours. I think that's like a 13.5-minute pace or something like that. And to complete it without training. Walking, I usually walk at around a 15 to 17 minute mile pace. So I'm not going to finish 13.1 miles in 3.5 hours going at a 15 to 17 minute mile pace. So we'll see how this all goes. My motivations, like I said, is mainly to get back in shape. Hopefully to lose some weight. Like I said, I'm at 195 pounds right now. I was back at 165 pounds when I ran the first time. It's not really a good idea to lose weight training for something just because that means you're probably not eating well enough. But also at the same point in time, if I don't lose weight, that's more stress on my joints. And so I want to do the best I can to, get in shape and lose some weight and, just get back to being healthy. I'm only 27 years old. I have a long life ahead of me. And at the rate I'm going right now, eating junk food and not exercising and using excuses such as I travel 80%, it's not going to get me anywhere in life. So I need to do the best I can. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I'll try to update this every week with how I'm running and everything else like that. Like I said, my mile count for this week so far is a whopping 4 miles, so it can only go uphill from here.